Okay, common grade standards for all social studies classes. These are across the department. I don't really have any control of the percentages. I don't have any control over the percentages, but I do have some flexibility in between here. Homework is 15% of the scores. The tests, which that's the biggest one, that's why it's in red, is 40%. They gotta study. Kids gotta study for tests. They have to do good on that. I do allow makeups if the students do not do well on tests. Same thing with quizzes, but they just need to come in and say, hey, I want to take a makeup on that quiz or that test that I got a 65 or below on. The student work is 30% of their grade. That includes such big projects like the current events project that they will do once every quarter, and also the binder check, which is once every quarter, which I grade the binders. Next one down, spiral and binder. Your student needs to bring their binder and spiral every day. Every day we'll be taking stuff out of it, putting stuff into it. The more they forget their binder, the more difficult it is to keep organized. And honestly, in grade, if they're organized, that's going to be a 90% of the battle. And if they're not organized, obviously it just makes things much, much more difficult. Some people have gotten the no homework phone calls. I have the students write their phone number down in their name if they don't hand me a homework assignment in that's supposed to be done. I generally try to call within that particular day. If it's before a free period, I'll do it during my free period. If not, I do it after school. Just basically to kind of let you in on the fact that nope, they didn't get their homework done. It's not a, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just passing along information, and that works out pretty well. Just basically as a deterrent for not doing your homework. They know that they're going to get a phone. Okay, the homework website. A lot of times in the past few years, I've had parents that they always talk about keeping track of what their kid's doing, and they're going on what is now Infinite Campus. The homework website I find way more important than the grade website. The grade stuff that's stuff that they did already. A lot of times students will hand work in, and I might not get around to grading it for a day or 2 days, a week. These DBQ essays, it takes me the better part of 2 or 3 weeks to get things graded. So, I mean, obviously you want to kind of keep track and see if things are doing good or bad, but on a daily, everyday kind of basis of what you want to keep checking on, I would definitely focus on the homework website. That's what's due tomorrow. That's to keep them, on track for what they need to do for the next class. And are there tests coming up? You don't want to find out what the grade was on a test, 2 weeks later. You want to know a week ahead of time that there's a test coming up. Gives you time to study and to do better on it. Okay, so the homework website is updated daily. There is just one homework website for the whole team. Okay, this is the Spencerport Central School District website. This is what it would look like when you click on spencerportschools.org to get the homework. You can scroll over here, Cosgrove Middle School, and then over on the left side it should say something about homework. There we go, homework teacher pages. You are going to go to Mr. Deserto. I use my website page for everybody's homework, and as we can see, it hasn't been updated yet from 7th to 8th grade, but Mr. Deserto, and this is the way it looks right now on Friday, September 5th. It hopefully will be looking a little bit more filled out when you get there. But for those of you that had my students last year, or I had your student last year, you know that this would all be filled out with all the homework and things on there. And we do this every day. I do mine in the morning. I can't speak for when English, social studies, or English, science, and math would be able to get theirs done, but obviously by the end of the day it would all be filled out. And if you get bored, these are some students that I've had in the past. Since this is my website, it's not just Omega Teams, it's Mr. Deserto's stuff too. So if you had if I had a kid of yours years ago, then maybe hopefully their picture would be up here. But this is where that homework would be updated all the time. This is my social studies wiki page. You can get to it by typing the address Deserto, DESERTO, ss.pbworks.com, and then this is what you will see. This is what they call the front page. and it has an enormous amount of information. The front page itself is, I got some, some movie trailers for some extra credit that students can do. Anything they want to do, you just kind of read up on what's going on here. I have a link to the textbook at home. I have a link to some 7th grade class materials. Don't go to that. I'm going to be getting rid of that fairly soon. A link to a video on 9/11, since that's what we've been talking about now. I don't show that one in class. That's a little bit tough there. A link to the current events wiki page. So between the homework website at spencerportschools.org and this page right here, you have access to a tremendous amount of information about what your students seeing every day in school. The different pages are over here in the Navigator. Again, some of the other pages, I do 7th grade and 8th grade, so when you're looking up here at the different pages, just kind of make sure that you're on the right spot. Or if a kid wants to do a little extra, or is interested in something a little extra history-wise, knock themselves out. I mean, if they want to spend some extra time doing some stuff here on the website that's not 7th grade, I am okay with that. That's fine and dandy. They can see what they got coming at them for next year. So we got, as you can see here, lots and lots and lots of different stuff here. The 7th grade stuff, all the 7th grade pages are labeled 7th grade. Some of them are a little bit better than others. Hopefully this one's good. I didn't even really think this out. It's about obviously about the Constitution. So we have some cartoons and some other stuff that we'll be doing. Sometimes I will put in links to the lessons that we're doing. The presentation that I just did, the little movie that I made for the open house, I'm kind of excited that I might be able to actually do some of the lessons in class and record them and put them up here, so if a kid was absent, if they wanted to reinforce it, they want to study for a test, that'd be crazy cool. I also have different movies in. Hey, Schoolhouse Rock, How a Bill Becomes a Law. If you're old enough to know that, you're old enough to have kids in 7th grade. Actually, you might be too young if you have kids in 7th grade. But as you can see here, I got a lot of extra stuff in here. Sometimes I use the stuff in class, sometimes I don't. Okay, but it's all pretty decent, good stuff there. All right, so that's desertoss.pbworks.com. That'll get you to the front page, and then you can navigate your way around this. And that's it for the Social Studies wiki page. Thank you. This is the Social Studies current events page. The students did 4 current events last year, one at the end of each quarter, and they're going to do that again this year. I did not change this, obviously, since last year, so it has all last year's stuff on there. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I will, I promise. In the very near future, it'll be all updated and everything. But what I just want to kind of remind you guys, it's usually at the end of the quarter, and it's a big chunk of the grade, and if they blow this assignment off, it does have a fairly negative impact on their grades. They can drop at least 1 letter grade. So you definitely want to make sure that they're keeping up on that. And again, it's great. You can just get in there and ask them, hey, show me your current events project. And they should be able to get on the page, and they should be able to get anything up here. Their name would show up over here in the Navigator bar. And if your student is new to the beta team, or I'm sorry, Omega team, this year, I will get them a username and password, and we'll get them some help to get them up and going. I just want to remind everybody, this is something that definitely has to get done. It's not that hard. It's designed to be fairly painless for all involved. That's it. Thank you.